Commercial development in Madison and Mount Horeb are thriving. We'll tell you which new businesses are popping up around town. Plus a new home price peak in Madison this summer. We'll have the scoop on all that and much more. Keep watching. Your real estate news starts now. Thank you for watching the Real Estate News. I'm your host, Stacy Hansen. Let's take a look at your headlines. Officials in Mount Horeb are saying that the village's east side could be fully developed within the next 5 years. In its report, the Wisconsin State Journal found that commercial development has already increased along the corridor over the last 2 years. It's seen the addition of a Miller & Sons supermarket and a child care center, among other businesses. The most recent development was a Grand Stay Hotel and Suites that opened this past May. There are plans for a casual restaurant next to that hotel. Also, the North Cape Commons development has 25 acres available for commercial development on Mount Horeb's east side. The development has 76 single-family lots and 7 duplex lots remaining, as well as land for an apartment building. Village officials believe the increased traffic to new businesses could lead to continued growth as more investors discover the area. Commercial development in Madison is continuing to thrive as well. Hilldale Shopping Center recently completed its $15 million redevelopment project. The Wisconsin State Journal reports that the 53,000 square foot redevelopment includes 13 new stores and an open-air corridor. A craft beer bar called Cafe Hollander is still under construction on the northwest side of the shopping center. It is expected to open in mid-October. Elsewhere, a Cheesecake Factory restaurant is under construction near the main entrance to West Town Mall. That is scheduled to open in November. There will also be a Steinmart men's and women's department store opening nearby in the former Savers thrift store space. That is set to open sometime in 2016. In Middleton, Greenway Station will be opening 4 new restaurants by the end of the year. According to their marketing coordinator, they will include a Fresca Mediterranean Grill, a Fuji Sushi and Hibachi, a Noodles & Company, as well as a Fuddruckers restaurant. That will open in the former Cheeseburger in Paradise building. Well, according to Realty Track, Madison, Wisconsin hit a new home price peak this summer. In July 2015, median sales home price for a new home in Madison came out to $220,000. It was one of 10 markets across the country that saw new peaks. The same report also found that Milwaukee was still showing a high percentage of in-foreclosure properties in July. That number was at 11.7%. Meanwhile, the National Association of Realtors discovered that the number of pending home sales in the U.S. rose by 0.5% in July. That number has inched up steadily over the past 7 months. In the Midwest, the index also showed that July 2015's pending home sales are 5.7% above July 2014. Stick around, we'll have more real estate news coming up right after this. Welcome back to the Real Estate News. With me now is Kirsten Goggin. She's a broker realtor at Century 21 Affiliated. Welcome, Kirsten.
Thanks, Stacy. How are you?
I'm doing well. Nice to have you back. Now, you've got some recent changes going on with your company. Tell us about that.
Very, very exciting. So we are growing. I had an intern over this summer. Her name is Savannah Hauglid, and she just got her license, and she is my new buyer specialist. So very excited to have her on board. And she comes from Minnesota in a family of realtors. She wanted to dig in and get going here because she loves people and homes, and she wanted to put them both together and see how she can help make the American dream a reality for folks right here in the Madison area. So I'm happy to have her, and please, if you're looking to buy or sell, get a hold of us because we'd love to take care of you.
So what will Savannah be doing for you then?
She is going to be showing homes, doing everything on the buyer side. I also work with buyers, but I'm going to specialize more in the listing side of things. But of course, I do it all, and she's going to be there to help me out along the way. But we also are hiring for a transaction manager. So if you or somebody that you know you think might be a good fit, please have them check out kjsellsmadison.com. Get a hold of me. We are looking for somebody fun, upbeat, good with people, organized. Realtors as a whole are not very details and paperwork oriented. We're people. So I need someone to kind of help land this tornado.
So what else is new with you? Any open houses coming up?
Yes, got an open house coming up on the 20th, and that is 2257 Manley Drive in Sun Prairie. It's going to be open from 1 to 3 p.m. And I do have some hot new listings coming next week, so I'll tell you all about it once I get them up and going.
Well, we look forward to hearing all about that next week. Thanks so much for stopping by again.
Thanks.
And you stay tuned. We'll have more right after this. Welcome back to the Real Estate News. With me now is Alan Myrold. He's the Assistant Property Manager at Fiduciary Real Estate Development. Welcome, Alan. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. Now tell us about 5020 Apartments.
5020 Apartments is a luxury apartment complex on the far northeast side of Madison, right out by American Family and East Town Mall area.
Okay. Now, what amenities do you offer there?
What we have is we have a center courtyard area that has some gas grills and fire pits, so it's nice you can get out and meet your neighbors. We have a condo-sized pool. We also have a 24-hour fitness center and a clubhouse room that's available to people to rent out for parties and things like that.
So what do you currently have available there?
We have a few 1 and 2 bedrooms that are left for October 1st, and outside of that we have our last brand new building opening October 16th, and we have 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms left in there.
Okay, what's pricing on some of those?
Pricing is going to be anywhere from the $865 range for a studio all the way up to $1,700 for a 3-bedroom.
Okay, now you're with Fiduciary Real Estate Development. What sets that company apart from other property management companies, would you say?
We have our 24-hour maintenance. We're open 7 days a week, so you're always able to get a hold of us. The 24-hour maintenance pledge is anything that you call in to get done is going to get fixed within 24 hours unless it's something we have to order apart. But we really try to take care of everybody, listen to everybody, get people comfortable with who they're living with and who's taking care of them.
What do you think the future holds for your company?
We have a lot of stuff going available outside of 5020. We have the building Domain that is in downtown Madison that just recently opened. We also have the View Apartments, which is out off Fish Hatchery, which is another luxury complex. And we have new properties, Elan, which is going to be on the south side of town. And we actually have another property that is not even named yet that will be going up on the east side with another 250 units in the next year or so.
So how do these complexes differ from each other, would you say? Are they basically the same in different locations? Or
they're all a little different. It's all kind of amenity based depending on what you're going to want as far as the stuff, you know, fitness centers, tanning, things like that. I could say they're similar, but everyone has its own look and its own feel to it.
Well, thanks so much for stopping by today. It was really interesting to learn about these new developments.
Thanks for having us. I appreciate it.
And you stay tuned. We'll have more coming up right after this. Welcome back to the Real Estate News. With me now is Jeff Olson. He's a realtor at RE/MAX Preferred. Welcome, Jeff. So nice to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Now you're here to talk about the greater Madison real estate market. How long have you lived in this area?
You know, I grew up in Madison. I actually lived on the east side of Madison for quite a few years. And then I moved to DeForest and lived there for about 12 years and moved to Middleton. Actually got married about 11 years ago. And lived there ever since. So I've been in this area for my whole life.
Well, let's talk suburbs in the Madison area. Which are the most desirable?
You know, you really can't go wrong. Madison has a lot of really nice suburbs. It's surrounded by nice suburbs. And, you know, there's west side, you've got Cross Plains, Middleton, Waunakee, you've got Verona. There's just really a lot of great suburbs. East side, you've got Cottage Grove, McFarland, Stoughton, Oregon, DeForest, Windsor. So you just can't go wrong. Great schools everywhere. It's really a nice place to live.
We're really lucky to have so many nice areas right around here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's the Madison market as a whole been like this year?
You know, it's been really, really busy. We've had multiple offers over asking. It's been a seller's market. A little tougher for buyers just because of the competition, but it's been a great market, one of the busiest ones I remember for a while.
That's good news for the real estate market.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what do you really have to focus on the most when you're marketing real estate here in the Madison area?
You know, internets is obviously, that's what everyone is looking at. 98% of buyers are looking at the internet before they purchase a home. The Oh, one of the big things I like to look at is making sure I get professional pictures and even a video tour of a lot of properties, just because it's the main focus of what people are looking at when they're looking online.
Exactly, and if you can reel them in that way,
Yeah.
that really helps.
Yep, you betcha.
So do you sell bank-owned properties as well?
I do. Actually, I've done, for about the last 5 or 6 years, I've sold a lot of bank-owned properties for HUD, WIDA, Chase, Bank of America, a lot of different asset management groups. And you can really get some good deals on those types of properties. They're typically listed very aggressively.
So you can get some good deals there on those foreclosures.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You have competition though. There's always a lot of people that are looking to purchase these just because they're priced so well.
So any listings you'd like to highlight today in the last couple seconds?
Yeah. I've got a listing. It's 3922 Hillcrest Avenue in Madison. Property's been completely remodeled. It's near Hoyt Park, near Hilldale Mall. It's near University of Wisconsin. The property itself has granite countertops. It has a custom kitchen, hardwood floors, new windows, new roof, new landscaping. The whole property, it's been completely remodeled top to bottom, and it's listed at $499.9, or I'm sorry, $449.9, and is definitely getting a lot of action right now.
That sounds great. Well, thanks so
Yeah.
much for stopping by today,
You
Jeff.
bet.
It's nice to talk
Anytime.
to you.
Thank
And
you.
you stay tuned. We'll have more coming up right after this. Welcome back to the Real Estate News. With me now is Becky Anderson. She's the owner of Tresta on the Water. Welcome, Becky. So nice to have you here.
Thanks for inviting me.
So now, where are you located?
We're located in the edge of Monona, on West Broadway, just before the Monona-Broadway intersection, right next to Rutabagas.
Okay, it's a nice area.
It's a very nice area. We have a view of the water. It's right on what used to be called Mud Lake. I don't think anybody likes to call it that anymore.
It doesn't exactly conjure up the best view.
Yahara River, we're kind of coining
Okay.
in on that right now.
Okay, now what size units do you have available right now, and what are the prices like on those?
We have ones starting at $11.50 and twos starting at $15.75 and threes starting at $2,200. And we also have penthouses that are $2,500.
Okay, how big are those penthouses?
They're about almost 1,900 square feet, and they have a loft, so you can have like 2 living rooms if you want, or just a playroom or whatever you want to use that second room for.
Sounds nice. Now, who's your target market for this property?
Our target market is the graduates, the 25 professionals, 25 to 35, but actually we're getting a number of retirees that don't want to handle a home anymore. They don't want to mow the yard. They want what we call lock and leave. And so actually we're getting several of those at this point.
I can believe it. Now, what kind of amenities do you offer there?
Well, it's something different. It's run kind of like a hotel because we have a lobby. You come in and you have a concierge desk where we have somebody there to give tours or ask questions, and then we have like a cafe with a bar that doesn't have a bartender because we can sell like one beer or one glass of wine at a time. There's 4 TVs in that area. We got a gaming room, we've got a community room, we've got an outdoor patio, we've got a rooftop patio, and we have a restaurant right down the hall connected to the building.
Why leave, really? Just a couple seconds left. You've got a pretty cool interior design style there too, right?
Yes, very cool. We've got this industrial loft warehouse look on some of the apartments where you've got the painted, some of the apartments are painted, ceilings are cement with really high ceilings, and then of course I mentioned the lofts and the penthouses, and there's just, it's very, very different. It's something you need to see. There's nothing like it in Madison.
It sounds amazing. Well, thanks so much for stopping by today, Becky. We have to go check these out.
Please do.
And you stay tuned. We'll have more coming up right after this. Welcome back to the Real Estate News. With me now is Josh Slovak. He's a real estate agent at Keller Williams Realty. Welcome back, Josh.
Hi, Stacy.
So this time I'm curious about home financing programs. Are banks still lending money these days after the recession of 2008 and 2009?
Yeah, certainly some changes happened during that time frame, but yeah, banks are definitely still lending money these days. Some of the best programs, of course, are going to be those buyers and home borrowers that have at least 20% to put down and really good credit scores.
So what about no money down programs? Are those gone?
Believe it or not, there are still programs available. You can buy a house with no money down, in fact. A couple of the more popular ones, VA if you're a veteran. First of all, thank you for serving our country. But you can buy a house, no money down. Another program that's still popular is USDA or Rural Development. Again, a no money down program. Actually, I have a listing down in Oregon at 325 South Ash Street. 325 Ash Street in Oregon. You can buy that using USDA no money down program.
Nice. Now, is it better to buy with a low down payment if you can do that, or should you wait until you have the typical 20% down?
Yeah, that's a great question, Stacy. It's one usually I like to really have a dialogue with my clients about, and really I think it's going to boil down to your lifestyle. So if you're like me and your family is growing, my wife's about to deliver twins here any minute.
Oh, congratulations.
So, yeah, thank you. Living in a small one-bedroom apartment or condo, trying to save for that down payment may not be the best scenario for your family. Whereas, getting into a house that's a little more spacious for your family, even if it is with low money down or no money down, might be a better option for you.
Sometimes it's worth it then.
Exactly.
So any changes you see coming up?
Yeah, probably the biggest changes are going to be coming at the beginning of October 3rd, I believe. You may have heard something called TREN is kind of the big changes in lending. It's kind of combining the TILA and RESPA rules. Yeah, I know all these acronyms. It's probably driving you nuts. But basically, it's some changes that are going to extend the home buying cycle by probably a good 10 to 15 days.
So people should plan on that. How soon is that coming up again?
October 3rd of this year.
Okay.
So it was extended. It was originally going to go into place August 1st, but as you can imagine, summer tends to be a little bit busier, so the government was allowed us to extend that time frame a little bit more. So
good thing to keep in mind then.
Yeah.
So when you're choosing a lender then, we talked about that a little bit, how important is it to choose the right one, or how do you know which one to pick?
Yeah, so there's certainly, there's a lot of realtors out there, but there's also a lot of lenders out there. I think the biggest thing when looking at whether choosing a realtor or a lender is you want to really look at their experience level and, how likely you feel they are to really work for you and get you a good program for you. For example, I've had one recent client that I worked with one of my preferred mortgage partners, and he was, we really didn't think they were going to be able to qualify for this specific loan program, but after reviewing a couple different things and submitting a few extra documents, we were actually able to get it approved because just under some exemptions that they were able to do. So who you work with is really important, and you really want to make sure that who you're working with is knowledgeable of all the different programs that are out there.
So good things to keep in mind. Well, thanks so much for stopping by again today, Josh. It was nice having you here.
Thanks, Stacy.
And you stay tuned. We'll have more right after this. Welcome back to the Real Estate News. With me now is Dan Shin. He's the president of Dan Shin Homes, a Keller Williams company. Welcome, Dan. So nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us, how do real estate agents differ as far as their experience?
Well, it's a really interesting industry. You'd be surprised, it only costs $350 to get your real estate license. So we have a lot of people who are working full-time jobs and then think this can be a part-time job. And often what I see is people don't even interview agents to find out what their experience is.
People just assume right off the bat that they're going to have a lot of experience.
Exactly. And when we look at a recent study from the National Association of Realtors, the number one thing people want is someone that they can trust. And number two is someone who's going to be able to price the home right. And you need someone with an experienced background to be able to do that for you.
So how many agents do you recommend that people look at in this process?
I always recommend at least 2, sometimes 3, but you'll see there's a big difference in what people do in the background, as well as their experience, how many homes they sell, how fast they sell them. You'll learn a lot in that first meeting.
So those are some good things to ask them that you might not have thought about. Anything else that you would recommend asking them about?
Yeah, you know, how long have they been doing it? How many homes do they sell a year? Do they do it full time? What are the different things that they do to market the home? Because a lot of agents in our MLS, because we have such a popular area, you can just put it on the MLS. If it's sort of priced right, it'll eventually sell. However, in order to sell homes as fast as we do, in less than 2 weeks, you need to have someone that's being very aggressive with your marketing.
So what kinds of things do you do for marketing that other people might not?
We're actually getting into a lot of online behavioral analytics. So we're able to determine who is about to buy a home before they really even know it sometimes. And then we're then getting our listings in front of those people, and they're looking at them, they're going to the open houses, and we're just selling them that much faster as a result.
Wow, what kinds of people are, what's the profile for the buyer out there right now?
Well, everyone's different, but in our area, we actually have a pretty high average price point. You know, it's in the low 200s. So the middle class, single family home, with a lot of families, and in our area, school district really drives values.
Oh, makes sense, sure. Now, what reasons do people give for being satisfied or maybe not satisfied with their agent? Some things that people should look out for. That's
a great question, Stacy. You know, a lot of people call me after their first agent failed, and I hear the same thing over and over again. First, they weren't happy that their former agent didn't market their property aggressively. And second, they never heard from their agent. So communication is important. Our sellers hear from us every week, and I know there's a lot of top agents in our area that do that very same thing.
Wow. Now, if somebody is interested in becoming an agent themselves, we talked about that the fee isn't too high. What kind of education is really required for this?
Well, the education's pretty simple. It takes about a month through our WRA to take a course to learn how to use the contracts. Beyond that, brokers like Keller Williams and some of the other local brokers provide a lot of education on marketing so that you can best service your sellers and buyers. And so just contacting your local broker, they can get you started.
Sounds great. Well, thanks so much, Dan. I'd like to have you stop by today.
Thank you.
And you stay tuned. We'll have more right after this. From all of us here, I want to thank our guests for stopping by and all of you for tuning in to your real estate news. I'm Stacy Hansen. We'll see you next time.